Important thing is content, as long as it's adult and it's shared between consenting adults, it's alright. There's another aspect, unsolicited images. So when you do that, that is also harassment. So be very cautious. Consent is the most important thing. The moment the consent is over, just withdraw yourself.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Docs podcast once again. Today we have a very special guest back by popular demand. We did one show with him previously and there were so many questions, so much to talk about. So it is none other than Mr. Thishya Weragoda, my attorney at law and friend for a long time. And like I said previously also, Thishya and I have been through a lot together professionally and personally, and he is here with us to share some of his experience. And I want to talk about a very sensitive topic today. But before anything else, Thishya, welcome to the show once again.
Thanks for having me again, Sunil.
Lovely, my pleasure. අද නම් මම කියන්නේ පැහැදිලිවම කෙලින්ම කියන්නේ ඔය ලින්ක් එක ඉල්ලන අයියලා මල්ලිලා ඉන්නේ. අන්න ඒ ලින්ක් එක ගැන තමයි අද අපි කතා කරන්නේ. මොකද මේ මම ලින්ක් එක කියන්නේ. You know, Machang, this the whole sharing of unwarranted pornography or revenge porn rather, right? So I really want. I've done awareness about this. I've done videos about this, about how you handle the psychosocial aspect, both psycho and social aspect of how to deal when your nudes or your videos get leaked. But I want to hear from you what your thoughts and your experiences are about this whole fiasco.
What we generally call as hate porn is not actually porn. They're intimate recordings, images, videos of persons who had engaged in certain sexual activity, who have with consent most of the time recorded, which gets shared due to hate. So the idea that it is porn is a misnomer.
It's an interesting point. I never thought of it that way.
Right? Because I've seen so many times the police charging people under the Obscene Publications Act.
Yes, I've heard that, yes.
I actually did a case last year where the TID arrested a man, the Terrorism Investigation Department. The TID, because of some complaint by a politician that he was defamed.
Right.
And then the TID finally prosecuted him because he and his girlfriend had made some videos and they were on his phone.
Right.
Under the Obscene Publications Act. Thankfully, the judge was very sensible. The judge said that, okay, we must go to trial on this because he realized that this is really absurd. And then I got to cross-examine the OIC of a particular unit of the Terrorism Investigation Unit about what he thinks about pornography. Very interesting. He said, ලිංගික ක්‍රියාකාරකම් තිබ්බ හින්දා ඒක අසභ්‍යයි.
I remember this.
And then I asked him, ලිංගික ක්‍රියාකාරකම් අසභ්‍යයි කියලාද කියන්නේ? He said, නේ. මොකද්ද තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ? Then I also asked him, මේ දෙන 16ට වැඩිනේ. අපිට කිසිම සැකයක් තිබෙන්නේ නැහැ 16ට අඩුයි කියලා, 18ට අඩුයි කියලා. එහෙනම් මොකද්ද තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ? එයාගේ ෆෝන් එකේ තිබ්බා, එයාගේ ප්‍රේමවතියත් එක්ක තියෙන වීඩියෝ එකක්. ඒක අසභ්‍ය ප්‍රකාශන පනතට වැටෙන්නේ නැහැ. එයා ඒක කාටවත් ෂෙයා කළත් නැහැ. එතන කිසියම් හෝ අපරාධමය වැරද්දක් නැහැ. නඩුකාරතුමා ඒක පිළි අරගෙන නඩුව නිෂ්ප්‍රභා කරා. So firstly, I'm not asking anyone to create adult entertainment. That might fall under obscene publications if you make it for money, to sell it, to distribute it, all of that.
It's intent of distribution, right? That is
to make in order to profit generate or distribute.
Correct. Okay.
Right? But if it is for your personal consumption between you and your partner, for posterity's sake, I don't think that falls within that definition in that Obscene Publications Ordinance. Right? But if you do a pahantudawa, certainly that will be, because it is recorded for a money-making enterprise.
Understood.
Otherwise, recording for personal nature is not a problem. But the problem comes in two ways. One is if a party is a minor. Two is if you share it without consent.
Correct.
So we'll look at both separately. You know, in the early 70s, 80s, when cameras and videos started coming out in Europe, children were being abused to make what we term as child pornography or CP. Then, with the invent of the internet, it disproportionately blew out of control. And very little could be done to stop it. So then what the law enforcement and the lawmakers realized is that the easiest way to block it is A, stopping distribution, B, punishing people who create it. So there is this one case somewhere in the 1980s in the United States where this man had used a minor for topless photography. He was arrested for some crime, and then he tried to argue all the way to the Supreme Court of the US that that is part of his freedom of speech. And the US Supreme Court said, sorry, nothing doing. You're hurting a minor, and there is no freedom of speech there. Right? I can't remember the name of the case,
Yeah.
but that's it. And then somewhere in the mid-1990s, the US enacted something called the Communications Decency Act. In the Communications Decency Act, there is a section that says any lewd transmission, so on and so forth, is illegal. Then there was a massive challenge to it by the adult entertainment industry saying, hang on, when you do that, our right to sell adult entertainment is curtailed because of it.
Understood.
And the US Supreme Court upheld it.
Yeah.
And said that adult entertainment is not what is to be restricted. Minors accessing it is what requires to be restricted.
Correct.
Or minors being used for it. And there are specific laws that says minors cannot be used as for the purposes of creating images, videos, whatever.
Yeah.
Section 286A of our penal code is that. Creation of pornography using minors is illegal. You go to jail. Having it on your phone, you go to jail.
Jail, exactly.
No two questions about it. But if you have other adult material on your phone, you are technically not committing a crime. You are committing a crime if it is a minor involved.
Correct.
That's one aspect. So we are all clear, we are on the same page.
Yes.
Any child below the age of 18, get it, right? You record, you do things with them, you are committing offenses.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have these Romeo-Juliet laws, or as we call it in Europe. Even a slight age gap is considered okay. But of course, there's a couple of judgments of the Supreme Court now that says that courts can consider it. But the age gap must be very narrow. There must be a relationship between them. And there must be mitigatory circumstances. But otherwise, no, nothing doing.
So it's not for the sugar daddies.
It's certainly not for the sugar daddy. Right? That's totally out of the equation.
That's a warning for all the senior apachis out there.
That's one aspect. Then the other is this revenge material. And unlike our generation when we didn't have phones when growing up,
Yeah.
present generation does have.
Yes, absolutely.
And they generally, I was talking to someone and they said, මචං ඉස්සර අපිට වින් එකක් වෙන්නේ කාත් එක්ක හරි ගිහිල්ලා පාක් එකේ වාඩි වෙලා අත අල්ලගෙන කතා කරාම. දැන් ෆොටෝ එකක් ගෙන්නලා.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
If you're an adult, 18 plus that is, sharing your intimate images with your partner or someone that you like is not an offense as such. But the obligation is on the other side. The person who is receiving it, not the person who is sending it.
Yeah.
If someone sends me a photo like that, there is not just an implied assumption or implied understanding or an implied expectation that the image will be kept private. If someone wanted to show it to the whole world, they could have published it.
They published it, exactly, yeah.
Instead, it was sent to you because this person wanted the recipient only to see.
It's sort of an expression of trust, isn't it? within a
Absolutely.
relationship, which I'm against, but it has become that.
Yeah. So in that circumstance, when you send something to someone else, there is an expectation that it will be treated as private. Two problems come. One is when they break up.
Yeah.
Revenge. Two, actually three problems come. Two is you break your phone screen, you take it to the phone kade aiya to fix your phone.
Yes.
And three is when you are going to coerce someone. So we look at all three one by one. The first is, what did I say the first was?
The first was when you're going to break up.
First is when you're going to break up. Then that happens, all hell breaks loose. You want to take revenge, you're angry. So what do? What do you think you should do first?
Most commonly what happens is they take...
No, what do you think that we should, a man or a woman, a partner who has now ended that relationship should do to all that intimate photos that has been shared?
Well, I mean, delete them, of course.
Thank you. Get 5 points. Right? That's the first thing you must do. Delete them.
Delete and block.
Block, I don't know, but delete them. Sometimes you can't block them.
Yeah, true.
For various other reasons. So, what do? Delete them. You no longer have that implied consent to keep it on your device. When your partner or girlfriend or boyfriend had shared images with you while you were together, that implied consent is while you are together. The moment you no longer are together, that consent is withdrawn. So again, consent is very important. ඒ කැමැත්ත නැති නිසා දැන් කරන්න ඕනේ පළවෙනිම දේ ටික delete කරනවා.
Thishya, okay, it's interesting, very interesting point you raised. It's quite an eye-opener because even I mean, you know, it's a reflex to me, but I'm sure there are many people out there who never thought of deleting it entered their minds. Now, my question is it at that point illegal? From the point that you've broken up, is it illegal to have your partner's nudes on your phone?
I don't quite know how the law will look at it because we've never gone to trial on any of these points.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it will. But my understanding is that implied consent is no longer there for you to hold on to it.
Correct, that I understand, yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So let's say that you have forgotten about it, it's in your hidden folder, it's there. And when you realize it, delete it. That's your moral obligation.
Yeah.
Holding it there and you stop there is also okay.
Unless you go to option 2.
Or unless you go to option 2 of sharing. That's actually not an option. You are committing a crime. So if it's a minor and you have recorded, you share it, you are done for.
Yeah.
Right? No two questions, it's obvious, no?
Yes.
Then the second part is, you are not a minor, you are an adult, you have shared it. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි රට වටේ link හොය දුවන්නේ.
Exactly.
I have a different theory to it. ඔය link හොය දුවන්නේ because we don't get a local adult entertainment industry.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if that local adult entertainment industry was in play, possibly
you'd never look for it. Yeah.
People don't have to go behind those
other people's revenge porn. Exactly. Yeah.
Right? But then again, that's a discussion for another day.
That's a discussion that will land both of us in jail.
Absolutely.
Won't be for the first time, but yeah.
Well, no, we haven't landed in jail. But I think
almost ended up there.
So now the next thing is, you sometimes use this photographs that you have received to blackmail others.
Yes. That's where the problem happens. Yeah.
Right? That's another problem. In fact, in 2019, the then Minister of Justice wanted to reform this obscene publications so to protect women and children again. And they drafted something called the Obscene Publication Bill. ඒකේ තියෙනවා, if you are seen to be a minor, you're not a minor,
but you're seen to be a minor.
Seen to be a minor, you're still committing an offense කියලා.
Okay, that's interesting.
හරි. ඒ කියලා කියන්නේ රෝමියෝ and ජූලියට් ඇක්ට් කරන ඇඩල්ට්ස්ලා දෙන්නෙක්ට කිස් කරන්න බෑ.
I understand. Okay, right.
එතකොට පාරේ යනකොට මේ අවුරුදු 18ට වැඩි තැනැත්තියෙක් එක්ක ගිහිල්ලා කොයාගේ ගිහිල්ලා මොනවා හරි කරද්දි පොලිසියට හිතුනේ තාම මෙයාට 18ට වඩා අඩුයි කියලා අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්න පුළුවන්.
Right.
That's a problem. So we all opposed it, saying that no, it can't be. And then we went and said, look, you have 3 problems. 1 is hate, 2 is voyeurism, 3 is child. These are the 3 problems you need to address. But that is not an obscenity issue, but a consent issue. Then එතකොට වෙන්නේ blackmail කරනවා වගේ එකක් වුණා. Now I know of a situation. It's a vicious cycle. You tell your partner, මට පින්තූරයක් එවුවේ නැත්නම් එහෙම, I won't believe that it's you.
No.
You don't love me if you don't send this photo to me.
Yeah, there you go. So many people have asked me.
Right?
Actually, Thishya, people have texted me on my social media and asked me, Dr. Boyfriend මෙහෙම කියනවා ඇයි මට එවන්න බැරි අනිත් මිනිස්සු යවනවා ඔයා මට එවන්න නැත්නම් මට ආදරේ නැති හින්දා.
That's the thing, right?
It's emotional blackmail.
It's emotional blackmail. You do that and you get an image. ඊට පස්සේ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? The moment he or she says I want to break up, මම මේක ඔයාගේ අම්මටයි තාත්තටයි
යවනවා. හැමෝටම පෙන්නනවා. Exactly.
මම මේක හැමෝටම පෙන්නනවා. මම මේක ඉන්ටර්නෙට් එකේ දානවා. In fact, I had the unfortunate responsibility of appearing for someone who had suffered that fate. It's traumatizing. Imagine your entire life, your entire privacy being unraveled in front of your parents, for example. How traumatic is it? Why? Because that control is lost.
Yeah.
People are told, මට මෙච්චර සල්ලි එවුවේ නැත්තම් මං මේක රිලීස් කරනවා. Financial blackmail. And how many people can afford to go and say ආ මම මෙහෙම පින්තූරයක් යවුවා දැන් මෙයා මාව blackmail කරලා ලක්ෂයක් ඉල්ලනවා ලක්ෂ 5ක් ඉල්ලනවා මිලියනයක් ඉල්ලනවා.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. They can't
Serious
come up
problem,
with it. Yeah.
right? But all of it falls under some part of our law. The problem is our systems are not equipped to maintain privacy. I had a case where some person says that I am going to inform to your spouse that you and I had an extramarital relationship.
Okay.
So now what do we do? Do we give in to blackmail or do we file a case and then expose the fact that there is such a thing?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? This is like the
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah,
මොකද්ද ගිරේට අහුවෙච්ච පුවක් ගෙඩිය වගේ.
Exactly.
Caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. So we tried something, it partially worked. The judges allowed us to continue the case as X versus Y.
That means you hide the
You
identity is
anonymous.
Right. Understood.
So had to think out of the box. I think sometimes when it involves a minor, in a criminal case also, the minor should be named as X.
Yes, anonymized. Yeah, correct.
Anonymized.
Protect the identity. Absolutely.
When you take the case up in the middle of 500 others who are there for the Kasippu Naduwa and the traffic Naduwa,
Yeah.
shouldn't be there.
Yeah. I mean, people have a right to
Courts
dignity.
must be sensitized for these problems.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Of course, there's the other side also. We'll talk about it. But generally, so all of these problems can be avoided the moment you break up, you delete the photos.
Delete photos. Yeah.
No problem there.
Yeah. I take it a step further. My advice is yavannat epa. You know, I always keep saying.
Yeah,
just
no,
please,
so,
for the love
but
of
these
God.
things happen in relationships.
Yeah.
You do record, you do.
We are here because they happen. Right?
They happen.
Despite all of
Otherwise,
this. Exactly.
Otherwise, this discussion.
This
doesn't
discussion
happen.
won't take place. Exactly.
So,
But yaapa hinda අපි මෙතන ඉන්නේ.
So the important thing I believe is that you take it upon yourself and be responsible. Don't try to blackmail. Don't try to be a difficult person by sharing it or uploading it somewhere. It's morally wrong. You're destroying someone. You're destroying someone with whom you had some sort of intimacy, and you're abusing that trust that was there in that intimacy. So, like I said earlier, it's not an obscenity issue; it's a privacy issue.
Privacy issue. Exactly. Yeah.
Don't blackmail. Don't try to take revenge. No matter how hard the situation is, like the other day's conversation, no matter how hard it is, don't get into that situation.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just like that, don't do it.
Simply.
That's the bottom line. But if you are the victim, of course there are helplines. The Women and Children's Bureau looks into it. There is a dedicated unit called the Computer Crimes Investigation Unit at the CID. They are the ones who are equipped to look into this. Although the efficacy and effectiveness of how investigations are done is yet to be seen.
At least the systems are in place.
And also, I'm a very strong opponent of the Online Safety Act. I think that's very draconian. But there is one provision that I'm very happy about, which addresses this particular issue. If you share images, messages, whatever, that causes distress, including images, whatever, to where there had been consent and now the consent is no longer there.
Yes.
You share it, you commit an offense. But the Online Safety Commission is not there for the law to take place. So that is also there. Other than that, you can get caught for sexual harassment, blackmailing, extortion.
Extortion, yeah, exactly. Heap of other things apart from.
Yeah. So it's not worth it. So the advice would be don't do it. And in addition to the criminal element, you may be liable for civil damages also. The aggrieved party or the victim can go and sue you in damages, saying that I shared images with you because I was in a relationship,
And now
you exposed it, now my entire reputation is damaged, my dignity is damaged, my privacy is damaged, pay me so much money.
Correct.
So you run that risk also. The other side of the coin is we have a presumption of innocence. The suspect also has some sort of privacy. Now somebody goes and complains saying that, I'm going to use you as the example, your phone has my images and I lodge a complaint saying that now he's going to leak it.
This is the point where උතනින් පල්ලෙහාන් යයි සම්ම මේ හරේ යනවා මේ මේක මනක් කල්පිතයි කියලා හරිද? බලන් ඉන්න බිරින්දාවල සෙල්ලට මේ මනක් කල්පිත බව ප්‍රකාශ කරමි.
Now, just because I lodge a complaint against you, the police will summon you to investigation.
Yes.
You can say, දෙනවා phone එක unlock කළා. And
Oh, so they can't go to
වා හරි naughty ළමයෙක්නේ. ඔයා මේ දඟල් දාපුවත් මාංචු දාපුවත් බලලා තියෙනවා. එහෙම කියන්න බෑ.
So they can't go through your phone, my phone
No,
without my consent.
I have a serious issue with that.
Okay.
Because if you are named as a suspect, if I am named as a suspect, I still have my rights. I should be able to say no. My device, I will consent to an investigation only upon the strict guidance of court. It's not a free for all for everybody. I have my privacy to protect. In as much as you have a right to investigate, you must be concerned with my privacy also. I have a client, poor chap, goes and gets into trouble by saying a lot of things, which a lot of us would like to say, but we don't say.
We don't say, yeah.
A few years ago, somewhere in 2020, he said, a famous hashtag ගැත්ත තිබේ 22.
Oh, ගෙදර යවන එකනේ.
ගෙදර යවන කතාව. He said that in 2020. So he got arrested.
Right, yes, I remember
Right?
this.
දැන් ඉතින් මිනිහගේ මුළු ජීවිතේම අදිනවා. CID එකෙන්. We went and said, you can't do it. And the learned magistrate understood our concern and said, හැම එකක්ම බලන්න බෑ, මේක ගැන විතරක් තියෙන එකක් විතරයි තමුන්ට බලන්න පුළුවන්. And directed the government analyst, you can't go through this man's personal life. You can only see whether this particular post has been posted using this device. දැන් ඒක කරගන්න බැරුව නඩුව හිර වෙලා තියෙනවා.
Right. That's a very interesting point you raised there, because even I wasn't aware of that.
So the reality is that, I mean, just because someone lodges a complaint against me, am I required to abandon my entire life?
Relinquish your privacy, basically.
Not just that. For example, if we take all our phones, our banking apps are connected to it, our passwords are saved on it. And if the police thinks that just because they ask me to, I'm bound to unlock the phone and give it to them, it's a little bit, tad bit absurd. I had a case where this boy had an iPhone. The girl didn't. She took a selfie, a nude selfie of herself and sent it to herself.
Oh, right. From the better camera.
From the better camera.
Right, okay.
And they had a relationship. පෙරහැරක් දවසක රෑ, he was in her room and they got caught to the girl's mother.
Right.
සෙරපු පාරක් සමග මූ ගෙදරින් පැනලා දිව්වා. Right? Next morning the girl is brought to his house. ශ්‍රී ලංකන් නම්මල එහෙමයිනේ. අපේ දුව නරක වැඩක් කරා, තමුසගේ පුතා තමයි කරේ. මෙන්න දුව. දැන් බැදපන්. Obviously, the boy's parents were a little bit more responsible than that. පිට වගේ දුව ඕනේ. And turn them back. Then they go and lodge a complaint saying that this boy shared this image everywhere.
But in reality, he did not.
In reality, he didn't. She took the photo, she sent it to herself.
The parents did this. Man, this is toxic Sri Lankan parenting, like.
No, leave aside the toxic parenting. I mean,
that's another topic.
අපි දෙන්නත් වෙන දවසක් කතා කරන්න වෙනවා ඒක. But the issue is that now this boy's entire life is upended. He's a suspect. And අපේ පොලිසිය තියෙන ලේසි මේකනේ මං අඩු එකකට දාන්නම් sexual harassment වලට දාන්නම් ඔයා වැරදි පිළිගන්න. එතකොට මේ නඩු යන්න ඕනේ නැහැ මට ෆෝන් එකක් එක්කමින් හම්බ වෙනවා. Problem is you plead guilty to an offense like that. You will never be able to travel overseas.
Yeah.
But what do? වරද පිළිගත්තාම නඩුව ඉවරයි. suspended sentence එකක් කම්බු වෙයි මොකක් හරි. You are sometimes not advised properly that this goes on your permanent record.
Yeah, yeah. They probably won't even mention it. And
When we go and object, when we say no, we don't want to plead guilty, then we are the bad people.
yeah.
වරද කරා විතරක් නෙමෙයි අපේ දුවගේ මුළු මේකම දාලු ගෑවා විතරක් නෙමෙයි දැලි ගෑවා විතරක් නෙමෙයි දැන් සාකි කුඩුරක් නගන්න එනවා.
They don't want that being heard further. They just want that immediate reaction. Yeah.
ඉල්ලන්නේ මොකද රිමාන්ඩ් කරන්න. දවස් 14 රිමාන්ඩ් කරලා ආපුවම ඔක්කොම හරි.
ඔක්කොම හරි, yeah.
So be very careful. That's the only advice I can
That's
give.
how fast things can crumble, fall apart.
They-
Yeah, exactly.
Things can escalate very fast.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Literally. That's why you first got the image also because things escalated very
Really
fast.
fast, exactly.
And that's why you are in the dock because things escalated very fast.
fast from there.
Right?
The wrong way, but yes.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So though we call it hate porn, I don't think that's the right word because it's not exactly porn.
Porn, exactly. Yeah.
But it's intimate moments shared. So I don't think it's proper to be called porn, but that's an argument for another day. In fact, I said that today in court also.
Right.
Right? But important thing is content, as long as it's adult and it's shared between consenting adults, it's all right. There's another aspect, unsolicited images,
Yes.
right?
That most men are guilty of, yes.
Yeah, so when you do that, that is also harassment. So be very cautious. Consent is the most important thing. The moment the consent is over, just withdraw yourself.
Your right to hold on to those photos are also over, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a very, very interesting point you made there.
So
and
I
quite a
think
valid
that's
point.
the best way to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Thishya. That was that chat was, it blew my mind, to be honest. There were certain things that I learned that I didn't know. And I mean, I'm a proponent for not sharing, intimate pictures of yourself. My advice is always don't. But like I said halfway through this chat, we're here today because enough of it gets shared. So I appeal to all of you, mostly the men, I appeal to all of you, remember, right, the day your relationship ends, your right to hold on to those photos also end. So be a man, delete, right?
But I don't necessarily agree with you on that. It happens the other way around also.
Of course,
Right?
yes.
So again,
Be a woman, delete.
delete it. Be a good, decent human being.
Be a good person, exactly. Just delete those photographs. Do not, because the second that you all have broken up, you don't have any, you heard it from the lion's mouth itself, you have no further right to hold on to those photographs. And I believe that would be the safest thing to do in this situation if you have already shared it. So that will keep you out of trouble. But also remember, as we discussed, just to summarize, you do have rights both ways if these things have happened to you. So you need to seek proper legal counsel. You need to seek advice. I will speak later on the psychosocial aspects of this. That's a different chat altogether. But at least now you know legally where you stand when your nudes get shared. So thank you, Thishya. Thank you so much for your time. It was an absolute pleasure to have you. And I'm sure you have so many questions. I'm sure there'll be so many questions. I'll answer the first one. Link එක දෙවන්නේ. Anything else you want to answer, please ask and we will answer as many questions as we can. And we will have Thishya back to discuss more medical legal aspects. Thank you.
Thanks, Sunil. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.